Hey everybody, Larry in the air here, standing beneath the Rotwand here in the Dolomites. We've got Max laid out, we've got Peter over here. We're on the Dolomite area in the air paragliding tour. Today I figured I would just take the moment that we're waiting here on launch for the cycles to develop and tell you a couple of XC paragliding launch mistakes that I see very often, okay? So, first XC launch paragliding mistake. Not timing your launch. Okay, your timing of your launch is incredibly important. You want the cycle to be developed and rolling directly up the hill. You want to wait for a cycle that has a nice direction and a nice strength. And you want to time it so that you feel the cycle develop, and then you want to launch before midway in the cycle. How do you know that you're midway in the cycle? It's basically impossible to know that for sure, but as you sit there on launch, just start to pay close attention to what's happening in the air, the birds, the grass, the wind on your face, all of these different things, and then you'll have a better idea for what you can expect as for when you should time your launch, okay? The other thing is that a lot of times people will, on a cross-country launch, like midday thermaling, they will try to pull up their glider as if they're going to be able to kite it, as if they're going to be able to like pull it up and just like the wind totally just keep it up and take it up above their head so effortlessly. A lot of times when you're flying cross-country, the launch will be either light wind or no wind, and so it might be a circumstance where you're going to need to commit to your launch from your first contact with the glider, meaning that when you pull on the A's, you actually need to take a committed step backwards or 2 steps, pulling the thing up, getting it up and over your head, checking the glider, turning around and running and committing towards the launch. A lot of times people try to pull the glider up once, twice, they kind of like tug on it, like they're just a little bit too timid, okay? What else, Max? What do you think? Those are definitely the 2 most common ones. The other one that I see is people hemming and hawing on launch a little bit too long, and they kind of get in their heads. So at some point, you're going to have to get off the hill and get out there and try. So if you're building up all of your expectations for the big day, then you're probably overloading your glider beyond the placard weight with all of your expectations. So leave your expectations on the ground before you launch. Tell yourself, hey, I'd be okay with a sled ride today. A safe launch, a safe landing is all I can reasonably expect. I have a great life. And instead of flying like there's no tomorrow, you want to fly like you want to fly tomorrow. Okay? So those are 3 tips. Okay, the 4th one. When you lay your glider out, pay close attention to it. A lot of times, especially here in the Alps, when we lay our gliders out, the wind, like I said on the 2nd tip, the wind is not going to be super strong up the hill. It's not going to like pluck you and clear all of the lines all on its own. So when you lay the glider out, check the lines, lay it out completely, make sure there's not a line over. That way, when you actually pull up, you can be reasonably convinced that you should be pulling up, okay? Because like I said, it's not gonna like tug the glider up, clear all the lines for you, build a really strong wall. That's not always the case in cross-country flying. It's something that we get in glass off in the evenings, but we don't always get that, okay? So time your launch, commit to your launch. What was the 3rd one?
Don't let it get in your head.
Yeah, don't hem and haw and ground suck yourself. And then the 4th one, lay your glider out completely, thoroughly, and with intention, like you're going to fly it like it's an aircraft, like you're pre-flighting an aircraft. This morning as we laid Max's glider out, I noticed that the brake line was twisted and twisted and twisted. This happens because we go from speed bar, off speed bar, speed bar, off speed bar. We do a half wrap and it wraps the brake line. So really pay attention to this. This happens especially on ozone gliders because ozone gliders are not delivered from the factory with a swivel. I'm not totally sure why, but pay attention to your glider. Happy flying, everyone. See you on the next one.